Welcome to my basement, everybody.
Hey, Victor Lucas, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. You know what? I'm really happy that this has become a regular thing, that we make our way into the dungeon here to talk.
More than a regular thing. We've been doing this for over a year now, so I would say that we have officially graduated to it being a regular thing.
It's a regular thing, like a morning poop?
Well,
I went there.
We're 20 seconds in, and already you have brought up shit. So congratulations on lowering the bar for...
You know what? It can only get better, right? That's the idea.
Well, I wanted to start today's podcast off with a little story. We were out in the field yesterday, and I farted twice.
You did, yeah.
And one of them, we were by a body of water, and so I tried to blame it on the body of water.
You did try to blame it on the water.
I did.
Yeah,
and,
that's a good trick.
But then this morning, though, this is the kind of guy I am. I'm very classy. Yeah. We were sitting, waiting for Elysium to start. We can't talk about it because it's not in theaters
it's under
yet.
embargo. Go see it.
But we did see it.
Go see it.
Just relax, all right?
Just go see it. Okay,
You're really pissing me off right now.
Go ahead. Everybody go see it. Go ahead.
So we're in the dark. You're an asshole. So we're in the dark, and I say to Vic, hey, listen, I'm sorry about those farts from yesterday.
And I said I was going to talk to you about that. You're not allowed to do that anymore.
Well, like the same way you put Clyde in the backseat of the car and he shits all over. Give me a microphone and turn a camera on, and I just start farting profusely. How is Clyde doing? Let's have a Clyde update.
Oh, Clyde's doing very well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's like, right now he kind of looks at me with like, holy shit, I got better. I wasn't expecting that. I was feeling all screwed up and kicked around, but yeah, I feel a bit better. It's like he seemed kind of like he's shaking it off.
You know what you should do? You should go to the store and get him a gift. Get him a little cat toy. Does he have any toys?
We have kind of beige food and then some slightly darker food.
But get him a toy. Get him something. Make him feel special. He's not too. Listen.
I'll tell you what he gets. He gets my daughter walking over to him,
pulling his tail.
No, honestly, it's progressed to like wrestling pinning. Like she just lies flat on him and pins him to the ground. Yeah. And he just loves it. He thinks it's awesome.
Welcome back to Cat Talk with Vic and Scott.
No, he's a very happy cat. But we have other cool things to talk about. We can't talk about Elysium, but go see it. But we have other things that we can refer to. 2 guns.
See, you can say that, but I can't say what I want to say.
Well, listen, here's my thought. Okay.
Here's my thought.
Okay. Even if you hate it, and I'm not going to spoil anything, you need to support original ideas. And not enough people support a Pacific Rim.
But you don't need to go see terrible movies because your life is short.
But you know what? We are inundated with sequels. We are inundated with reboots and rehashes and refreshes. So if a studio goes out and spends $100 million on something brand new, I think if you're a nerd or a geek into science fiction...
It's good that people didn't go to see Pacific Rim. Now we don't have to worry about having a terrible sequel.
Pacific Rim was fun. It's a good bit of escapism. It's not as good as we wanted it to be.
It was trash.
A nice little chunk of escapism. But we've covered that. That's like... I think 6 podcasts.
So listen to this, though. Listen to this.
All right.
So I went to get my lunch today, and we're both healthy. We love vegetables.
Yes, we do.
If you see us on the show, we both look amazing. You don't want to know why we look amazing?
We're each 85 years old.
Avocado. Yeah, we are. We cannot be killed. We're like Frankenstein and the Mummy. We are incredibly youthful, but we do like our vegetables. So I went to get salad today.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting to pick up the salad, and a song came on that I hadn't heard in a long time.
Did you start dancing?
No, but I listened to it and it brought back some memories.
Did you start crying?
No, I didn't start crying, but it was the Traveling Wilburys. You remember this? They tried to put together this super group.
Yes.
With Tom Petty and Bob Dylan and Roy Orbison and I don't know, maybe one of the Allman Brothers.
Yeah.
And it didn't quite work. And so I started thinking that Traveling Wilbury is a terrific term for things that should be awesome but don't turn out to be awesome. And this whole summer for movies has been kind of a Traveling Wilbury for me.
Right.
This whole thing,
That's good. That's a little bit of a long way around on an analogy.
Yeah,
but
I thought you might enjoy that.
I think it's pretty good. Yeah.
So I have seen lots of movies this summer that are Traveling Wilburys.
So what is the theme music for this summer? Is it a Traveling Wilbury song?
A theme music for the summer? It's probably a Katy Perry song.
Wait. Baby, you're a firework.
I don't know. Neither one of us knows any Katy Perry songs. But yeah, it's been a traveling Wilbury summer. And, you know, but one of the lone exceptions is Two Guns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we
have arrived
zero
where you were trying to get to.
Expectation for this thing, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. We like Wahlberg and Washington so much. They're both so charismatic. I mean, honestly, they could just sort of show up and kill time.
I love this director now, Baltasar Kormaker,
he did
who
that.
Also directed Contraband.
Which
what are
we
you
loved
laughing
that
at?
movie. Remember how intense that stupid movie was? We were both just sweating through the whole thing. My
was
hands.
hot in the theater,
It
too.
was hot, but it was just like, oh my God. It was ridiculous that he had to go, I think, all across town and deliver something and get back to the...
Stressful.
Oh, it was very stressful, but fun. Stupid fun, and I think Two Guns kind of carries that tradition. I think that Neill Blomkamp likes to create sci-fi allegory. This guy likes to have stupid fun with lots of gunfights, and
I don't
it
feel
works,
like
though.
it's stupid. I don't feel like it's beneath me. I feel like it's
There's a pulpy patter to it that I dig for sure.
But I do feel like it's a movie that there's an intelligence behind it.
Right.
There's a vision behind it.
Well, there's what it is there's an abundance of character in this film.
And I love these guys. I love Denzel Washington. I've never been more in love with him than I am right now. He's very handsome. He's so charismatic. And you know what? Watching these two work, no one does effortlessness on screen. And it's something I've become more and more aware of as we watch movies, you know, and we're going to talk about a big project which has both of us watching a lot of movies very soon here.
Yeah.
Just movies that feel effortless and performances that feel effortless and that seem so organic.
Right.
And watching Denzel Washington, like even at the smallest movement on this guy, it doesn't take any effort, or at least it doesn't look like it takes any effort. And you see Wahlberg on screen sometimes. Mm-hmm. He's close to being the effortless performer that Denzel Washington is, but you can still see him work a little bit. You know what I mean? I think that's something that's a criteria. I think whenever you see a movie, like how effortless is this production? Am I aware of the work that went into this?
Right.
And Wahlberg, he's sweating a little bit. Denzel, man, that guy, I haven't seen him sweat in years. This guy is good.
Yeah, I mean, he's always had that owning the role kind of quality about him. Even when he was on TV back in the day, he really shone. I mean,
What was he on TV?
He was on St. Elsewhere, a million years ago.
Shit, how old are you?
Which 85. We've already gone over this. I ate a lot of vegetables.
He was on St. Elsewhere.
But with Howie Mandel, for Christ's sakes, he was also awesome on that show. And Ed Begley Jr. Oh my God. Anyways, Denzel was fantastic. Totally trying. He was kind of like the George Clooney of that show. And then he did, go on to do a lot of these Spike Lee movies. I love him in Mo Better Blues. I mean, he's just so damn effortlessly cool. I
love the way you say that, Mo Better Blues.
It was awesome. That was a great role. And you're right. I mean, I think he must have theater chops. He must have, the ability, the entrenchment, the education, the training with this stuff to really take it seriously and to really just kind of sink into the skin and breathe these characters. And I feel that Wahlberg is earning that, but I think that his foray into Hollywood was totally different.
He's younger, too. He's almost 20 years younger,
he
15 years younger, yeah.
But I also feel like he was a discovery, and that there was a risk taken on him, and that he was magnetic and charismatic, and that
because he's not the most handsome guy,
but he is a guy that commands the screen, and you're kind of riveted by the performance because of his really crazy energy. And his brother's got that too. His brother's an actor in a bunch of things as well. He's very
Danny.
Yeah, he's interesting to watch in the stuff that I've seen him in as well.
Was he the one in the Funky Bunch?
Yeah. No, Mark was the Funky Bunch. The other guy was the new kid on the block. But there is something about these guys that, and Mark especially, but it's been cool to watch him mature into his roles, And when he worked on the Scorsese picture, Entourage as a producer.
The Departed.
Yeah, but when he was into The Departed with DiCaprio and
he's great
with Matt Damon,
that's an effortless performance.
But he was amazing in that, with all of this incredible talent and one of the best directors of all time working with him, and Alec Baldwin's in that goddamn movie, and that guy's a scenery chewer as well. He's amazing. That guy's an incredible actor. But Wahlberg was phenomenal. He was still able to just pull something out of that role and make it so unique and distinctive and memorable. And I think that was a turning point for him. Everything that he's done since then,
you know what,
has been a little bit better.
I'm gonna say something that is a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
But when I watch EP Daily or Reviews on the Run, I watch you, and what you do is so effortless. But people watch me, and you can see me still working. Because you have about 15 years on me. I mean, I'm never going to catch up with you. But it's that effortlessness that I aspire to, that I think you have worked really hard. I don't know if you've always had it. I mean, I guess maybe you always did. When I used to watch the show when I was still in the States, in New York, and I'd watch EP Daily there, and you just maybe some people just have it and some people can acquire it, but I think some people just they can work all their lives and never have it. I don't think I'm ever going to have it. I think I'm always going to have to hustle.
You won't have it if you think too much about it. That'll be your blockade for sure.
So I think I'm learning from the master here.
I think what I have learned is that the more that you watch yourself, particularly when you've got all of these insecurities, which never go away, by the way. You always feel like there's something wrong.
What are you insecure about? Your penis is huge.
There's always, all of us walk around. We're all frail and we're all fragile and vain, and we all carry all of these things around with us all the time. But I think the more that you look at yourself and observe and try to be as, I don't know, try not to beat yourself up too much. Try to just be, look at it from a purely non-judgmental way, and just sort of critique yourself in an encouraging kind of way, so that the next time that you step up, you remember some of the things that you remember. You pointed out about your last kick at the can with this stuff. It becomes easier. And that's exactly what happened with me over time. And I'm certainly not admitting or agreeing to the fact that this is old hand or second nature, or that I make it effortless at all.
I've seen you walk in off the street 8 o'clock in the morning and shoot EP, and it's just there. It never goes away with you. There's no warm up.
Well, I'll tell you what I do know
about
doing this stuff is that
the
words that come on the page, the script or the words that that we come up with quite a bit in our improvisation, because a lot of the stuff that we do, there is no script, we just go with it. They won't always be perfect, just like they aren't always perfect in regular speech and regular conversation, but you need to believe them. Mm-hmm. And you need to find a way to believe them. And what I always do, and I find myself doing and have found myself to kind of just accept and value, is that I change the words to fit my belief and to fit my conviction. And I do that all the time. And I can tell when I'm putting words together that, because of the sentence structure or the way that it's been written for me, it just doesn't feel authentic. And I tool them around and I twist them around, and I find levels and layers in the way that I deliver them that feels, when I hear them ringing in my ear, more authentic to me. And
right.
I have heard my voice enough now that I know when that's, most of the time, when that's right, and when it's wrong, most of the time. And honestly, it's just from practice, man. It's just from doing it, doing it, and doing it, and doing it.
Well, I know that one thing I used to tell myself when I was writing more, when that was my vocation more than talking with you and being on TV, I used to, instead of getting all worked up with my anxieties and self-consciousness, which is very easy to do.
It is.
I would tell myself to just trust in the fact that I have an interesting brain, and then if I just get out of the way and let it work, then I'm gonna get what I need from it.
Yeah.
But I always have to create obstacles for myself. The anxiety just clouds your sense of logic, your ability to put words together, your ability to find that right word.
Yep.
But if you just trust in the fact that you're smart and you've got some interesting things to say, things usually turn out okay most of the time.
We are all interesting creations, we all have stories.
It's turning into an after-school special
but
now.
It's true, though, and I think whether you're applying for a job or you're in a job and you want to transition to something else that you don't want to do, that you would rather do, or if you want a better experience in your life in whatever way possible, I think you just have to. You find that truth in yourself.
I had this funny moment this morning. I woke up. We're in the middle of a super busy day. We don't need to go into details, but we started very early and we're going to go till late tonight.
Yep.
And I woke up
This is
super
a 2
early.
movie, 6 studio
I was up early
podcast
writing
kind of a
scripts
day.
this morning. It's just before a holiday weekend, so we're
always
shooting
happens
like
before
mad.
long weekends,
Yeah, so we're running around, and I woke up and I just felt this sense of exhaustion. And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to try to do everything that I do today. I'm going to try to be the best that I can.
Yeah.
And I just had this moment where it clicked like a switch in my head, and I'm sitting at my desk, and it just kind of flipped over, and I just thought, I'm going to go after everything today. Why not?
That's right.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And enjoy it too.
And enjoy myself and try to make the most of this long day. Or I can just dread it every step of the way and say, we've got a million things to do. We'll never get through this.
Well, you know,
which is such an asshole way to approach.
Interesting
the day.
digression coming off of watching Two Guns, but I think you're right. I think there is an effortlessness to the way that it was put together, and it is a bunch of professionals. Maybe the director isn't a guy with a huge credit list, but boy, can he assemble a cast. He's also got Edward James Olmos in there.
He's got a vision for sure that he is realizing on screen, and I think that's very difficult to do. I think it's hard to make. It's hard to make a movie. I've never made a fucking movie. I don't know, but I think it's almost impossible. And it's kind of miraculous that any of them exist at all. And I know that, and I think about that even today when we're watching Elysium. It's miraculous that this thing even exists at all, or that it makes sense at all.
Yeah.
And
well, think about the amount of trust, right? Because you have to follow this guy. Like, everybody has to kind of jump on board with this one person and his vision, and he's going to get all the credit. You know, he's going to get his name above the title, and if the film is a success or if it's a failure, it's going to be kind of on his shoulders for the most part, or her shoulders. And you know, so there's trust that way. But from that other perspective, the director has to then trust a crew that he may or may not know. Mm-hmm. And then you've got to hire a bunch of actors who are each coming at it from their own business perspective and their own ego perspective. And there's trust that has to happen that way. And everybody's busy and is trying to find their next gig the whole time, which is something that nobody really ever talks about when we go to these junkets or these set visits or these conferences.
They're 3 movies ahead already.
Honestly, I mean, the whole time they're shooting these things because it's a rain and shine kind of a thing. They're always worried about what's next for their career. What are they going to do? So
even now, Elysium's opening, and Blomkamp's already on to his next movie. He's shooting his new movie.
He's shooting. What is it? What's it called? Cappy or something like that?
Yeah, that sounds right. You know what I also thought of is Midnight Run. Remember that movie? Totally. I think we always forget about that movie. And you know who else I want to give a shout out to here? We're talking about Wahlberg in Washington, but Edward James Olmos.
He's amazing.
He is so good in this movie.
Battlestar Galactica would not even have been a blip without him.
Without the dad figure, right? He's the dad of everybody in that show.
He was super dad, you know? He was the height of responsibility personified in an incredible character with so much gravitas and so much heart.
Look how scary and also warm simultaneously he is in Two Guns. He has that fatherly presence still, but he scares the shit out of you. And so to be able to pull that off as an actor, I think is incredible.
Effortless, right? Conviction.
Also effortless,
and an intelligence. I mean, I've interviewed him, and I've been to talks that he's given at different conventions, and a brilliant human being, you know. And I think that's also part of this equation as well, is that when you put smart people that aren't lazy, that are able to find a level of commitment so that it doesn't look like a ton of work, you're able to get fantastic work.
You know what I also didn't know
collaboration.
is that this is based on a comic book.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know that at all. It's a comic book by Stephen Grant.
Yeah.
Have you read this thing?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. But I really enjoyed the flick, and 2
7.5s from us. So it's not like it's off the charts.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a gangbusters blockbuster success. I think it's going to be, maybe a black sheep or a nice surprise for people. But it's absolutely one of the best things that's happened in the theaters this summer, which is kind of a tragic thing.
The whole summer is a traveling Wilbury.
Yeah.
I told you, man. We went over this already. And listen, but tonight we're going to go see We're the Millers. Yep. Jason Sudeikis, Jennifer Aniston. See how that is. Yeah. Check that out.
Yeah, I don't have high hopes.
I don't either. Maybe we'll get some laughs. You know what I love? I love when we sit together in the dark and we both laugh at something. That is just the best. Like, I still remember when we saw Bridesmaids for the first time.
Right.
I mean, almost all of these, even the shittiest comedy, there's usually one. Even Grown Ups 2, I think we had a couple laughs.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That is just the best moment. You got your popcorn. You're enjoying a laugh with your buddy in the dark.
I know. Seriously.
That is not a traveling Wilbury.
But we are doing something that is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, tell
and
everybody
fun.
about it.
Well, I tweeted it out yesterday just to kind of
spill the beans.
I wanted to get the sense from who was ever reading my tweets at whatever time that was, like 10 o'clock, just to see if there was some positive or negative kind of response to this, and a little positive and a little negative.
So what do you got so far? Give me some of these tweets.
Well, just like
saying?
awesome, and then I already know it's going to be Batman at number 1. Or but Red Dead's going to be in there, or can't wait to see this Magnificent Seven, one of the best. So what we're doing, we have 100 episodes of this season left at starting Monday. On Monday,
of Reviews on the Run.
Of Reviews on the Run, we have it's episode 151 on Monday. We make 250 in a year, and so for the next 100 episodes, and I just discovered this when I was looking at the calendar and I looked at the episode number and I went, holy shit, because this is something I've wanted to do forever.
We've been talking about it for a year and trying to figure out a way to make it work.
Absolutely. But then when I saw that, it's like, boom, okay, this is absolutely something that we have to do. So every day, starting on Monday, we're going to look at one movie and one
this Monday?
game.
Yeah, this Monday.
Yeah.
One movie and one game, okay.
And we are counting down the top 100 best movies and video games from Reviews on the Run. So our favorite movies and games. And we're not going to spoil anything. I don't want to talk about any of the things that are on the list. And we're not going to spoil them with teases. We're not going to tell people, the day before. So you have to watch the shows to kind of get caught up. And obviously this will be a really nice collection of content when we're all done by the end of the year. Our list is not like any other list that's out there. First of all, the games list, because we've been reviewing video games for so long, we're going to be able to use a ton of really cool classic review clips from Reviews on the Run.
That means you're going to see some faces from the past,
Absolutely.
including one man whose name begins with a T.
Yes, 2 T's. And we've also done a ton of movie reviews, so you're going to see a lot of great movie reviews with different individuals flash up on screen as well. But the lists themselves, I've looked at hundreds, top 100 lists out there, especially in the film category. I think there's probably going to be some correlation with some other games lists that are out there, some ones that you'll kind of recognize. But I don't know if there has been a big media thing recently about a top 100. And with all these new consoles coming in and this sort of transitionary phase that it feels the industry is in, it's kind of refreshing to do this and to kind of take a holistic look at where gaming is. So absolutely some of the stuff that we've been playing on touch devices and things like that played a part in our decisions. But in the film space, this is not the Citizen Kane, Casablanca, America Film Institute kind of list.
No, we stuck with mostly, and that was one of our criteria. We had a lot of discussion about this.
Well, it has to fit what we put on the show.
So it's stuff that's in our wheelhouse.
Right.
That's always the expression we use around here. It has to. So most of the stuff is genre stuff. I mean, I think there are a couple of exceptions, but we're talking about stuff that.
Don't give them away. I know it's hard not to talk about it, but don't be surprised if you see some superheroes flying around or some cool science fiction or some horror stuff.
And there was a bit of battling. I decided at the outset that I didn't want to throw down too much, and this is your place. You built this whole place from the ground up. These are your shows. You invented these shows, and so I deferred to you on a lot of these things.
But we did talk it all through, and we didn't. We talked about it with a couple of producers and other people and with you, and everybody threw in some suggestions on this. So this isn't just the Victor Lucas list of 100.
There were a lot of moments where we were like, oh yeah, how do we forget about that?
Yeah, for sure. And new discoveries along the way. And so far we've already called in from the field and have made a change on one of those things. And I'm sure that that's going to happen as we continue down the list.
What's been so great though is this is an excuse for us to go back into the vault. I mean, this has been this has been a traveling Wilbury year for games as well. It's been traveling Wilbury for movies. It's been a soft year all around, and to be able to go back and to just steep yourself in the very best content.
Yes.
It's so indulgent. It feels so good. I mean, the other night I was watching Blank.
Yeah.
See what I did there? I got you all nervous.
Yeah.
And I was having such a great time with that. And, I just finished a playthrough of a classic PC game that I really feel like should be number one. If it's not, I can't say anything more. Fuck, this is going to be so hard. But my God, being able to go back and just let these, and just open your eyes and see these things.
Well, you know what we can do on the podcast now, right? Every week from now on, there will be 5 of each revealed, so we can talk a little bit more about.
Oh, people can also text us. Tweet us and let us know if you.
This is your chance to tell us how much you enjoy what we're doing, or how off we are, how off base we are. If you've got your own list of 100 best movies or 100 best games, and you want to throw those in, absolutely, this is your time. This is we build this stuff not for you guys. If you're listening and you want to participate and give us your feedback, we're all ears. We absolutely want to hear it. And because this is going to be a big part of our programming for the next several months, this will also be a part of the podcast discussion every week, I think, too, or on a regular basis, anyways. But I agree. I think it's been a strange year. The consoles
feels weird, right?
Are kind of petering out. There's been some really fantastic, phenomenal games like BioShock Infinite and Tomb Raider and of course The Last of Us and DMC. But they've been these games that have had, like Luigi's Mansion, it's basically been like one a month. It feels like 1 or 2 a month. It hasn't been sustained weeks of incredible interactive experiences.
Right. We get one game and then we have a drought for 4 weeks. Yeah.
It's been weird, man. It's been very strange. And obviously people are shifting their money and trying to figure out how much they're going to spend on next gen. And we're hearing about all of the struggles that all of the different studios out there are going through. And we get it. So it is good. And I think, part of the decision here is to spend some time on television talking about the best stuff that's out there, So if you can't find it, if you can't find that great new thing to play or enjoy or to watch, here are some other great ideas.
Yeah, it's okay to go back into the vault.
It is. Absolutely.
So I got a couple of reader mail questions.
Okay.
Are you ready for one?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right. This one is from Aaron. Podcast question. Why does every new comic book movie have to start with the origin story? Can they not make a movie about the superhero already as the superhero for many years? Already doing the day-to-day hero thing? Did Superman really need to start with an origin, or Spider-Man? 2 of the most well-known comics ever? And we have to sit through their origin, really? Need to come up with something better. Boy, Aaron sounds exasperated.
And I think justifiably so. I think they needed to do it with Man of Steel because they didn't want any connection with the Richard Donner series or Superman Returns. They needed to start fresh on that one. And I actually really enjoyed the way they approached the Kryptonian origins and all that, as we've talked about. With Spider-Man, that was ridiculous. I liked the origin that they did present, and I think that Garfield's a terrific choice for Peter Parker. But we just watched Raimi do the definitive version of that not too long ago. Spider-Man 1 exists purely to set this whole thing up. And for all intents and purposes, and it looks like, especially with the new Spider-Man 2 that's coming out next year, they're even coming back to the look of what Raimi presented for his Spider-Man with the new costume, which is really a take on the old costume.
I don't understand.
They really could have just gone forward. And I'll tell you this, man, like when they do eventually decide on the next Batman and they bring Batman back to the screen, whether they do some kind of reveal of him in the Superman Batman, my guess is that they're going to rehire Christian Bale. I've been thinking about that quite a bit. I think they're going to make him an offer he can't refuse, and they're going to bring Bale back for Man of Steel 2.
Horse head in the bed.
Pardon me?
Horse head in the bed.
Yeah, I think so. But when they do find that new Batman, I really hope to God that they do not do another origin thing. They need to start a Batman movie off with him chasing somebody.
But nobody really knows. I guess the era of the superhero film is still relatively new. Nobody really knows. Even Nolan in his third kick at the can really didn't know what to do with Batman. He dropped Bane into the mix, and he didn't really have a message. He really lost his focus. He lost his way. Yep. And I don't know. People don't really know what to do with these superheroes beyond telling the origin story, which is such a cinematic story to tell. It's an easy story to tell.
It is. Yeah.
It's the lowest common denominator, and I think that's why we keep going back there.
I don't know, man. Iron Man 3 kind of explored some really interesting new directions. No, I think the way that they approached the Mandarin was really innovative. I really dug that. I really enjoyed that movie a hell of a lot. I think the Avengers also catapulted us right into the action. Didn't really spend a lot of time setting up who these characters were, and that was super fun.
They'd done that already in all the other films.
Yeah,
Thor
we
and
didn't
Captain
really know
America.
who Black Widow was. We didn't really know who Hawkeye was. You know, like it was. You know, even the Hulk. I guess they had kind of. We all know who the Hulk is. I like the way that the Avengers approached it. That was an impossible thing that they pulled off with that.
These Spider-Man movies really offend me, though.
Yeah.
Like, what a money pit. Like, what are they doing? Like, I understand. I mean, why are they, like, it's like they're tearing down a perfectly nice building and rebuilding it again exactly the same.
And you know that.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
Stupid Hollywood bullshit sort of derailed Sam Raimi to direct the fourth one, because he did a really good job on the first two. The third one I didn't hate. I mean, it was filled with silliness for sure, too many villains, but I sure like the Sandman in that. And you know what? I much prefer Andrew Garfield to Tobey Maguire, though. It would have been great for Raimi to just carry on with Andrew Garfield. But whatever. I didn't hate Mark Webb's take on it. Hopefully Amazing Spider-Man 2 will be good.
As an outsider. Anyway, let's move on to the next question. Question for Vic's Basement. This is from Lee.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this one before we went on the air. Are you tired of the Stan Lee cameo in every Marvel movie? I think they detract from the films.
I think it's an absolute necessity. I think that I mean, you know how I feel about Stan.
I know you love Stan.
Yeah, I do. I love him, and I think that this is an age of creators of these characters.
Does every single one need to be? Does he need to be in every one of them?
I think so.
Does
I
he?
mean, I feel like other creators need recognition in some of these things as well. You know, and I think. Yeah, he does get a lot of love for sure. And I wish there were more creators in cameos in films like that, you know? Like a lot of these creators, like Green Lantern's creators are gone.
How do we pay homage to, I don't know, you know, some of the people behind Batman in the new video game, Arkham Origins? What could they do to...
Well, Bob Kane, who really co-created Batman...
Yep.
He co-created Batman with Bill Finger, and Bill Finger never gets the recognition that he deserves, or the acclaim, and has never got the estate, never got the money. Bob Kane worked out a deal with DC that he always gets his name, the Batman character created by Bob Kane, and he's always been associated with all of that stuff. And he, took all the credit, got all the recognition, got the glory when he was alive. And I'm not trying to deride or derail the inventor of the concept of Batman, because he is the guy that initiated the conversation around all of that stuff. But it is, I mean, I've talked about this before. It's a two-way partnership on the creation of these comic heroes. It's art and it's a written concept and an origin story. You can't have one without the other. And I mean, I love that it symbolizes, when they put Stan Lee into this thing, that there's an acknowledgement that this has crossed over from a different medium, and they're paying respects to that other medium.
But when are we going to outgrow that, though? Because it does, I have to say, like, it was fun at first, back when these things were still a novelty. But now it takes you out of the movie completely.
I think we outgrow it when Stan is gone, and that's a sad thought. That's a sad thought. And I also think that we won't see that again, which sucks, because a lot of these guys create indelible characters, and I see it pipe up all the time, time and time again. A character will appear in Arrow or something that was created by somebody for DC Comics, and is there anything in the credits or anything in the... No, and that's crap.
I wonder if there's ever been a director there must have been, of one of these movies where he's just like, and then we got to put in the fucking Stan Lee cameo. Somebody get Stan on the phone. He's going to be a bus driver in this one.
I don't know, man. Like, I think about this, okay? Tobey Maguire made hundreds of millions of dollars off of the Spider-Man work that he did.
Oh, man, he's getting bottle service at the tables in Las Vegas.
Owes his career and the lifestyle that he lives right now directly to Stan Lee and Steve Ditko.
Yeah, some other people too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so he should be thanking those guys, and anybody that's sort of making their bread and butter.
What do you mean? What's he going to do? What is Tobey Maguire going to do? Why does he care?
Well, he's a multi-millionaire, and now he's a multi-hyphenate because he has
He would
producing
say,
power.
I have a Tobey Maguire-ness that brought something special to that role, that elevated that material. That's probably the way he thinks.
For sure. Like, he is part of the success story there, for sure. But he would not have the career that he has if he didn't play Spider-Man.
I don't know what the fuck happened, but somehow this has turned into a comic book podcast. I am so bored and out of my depth. I could give a shit about Stan Lee. Okay, so you say let Stan do his cameos.
Yes, I
There's
love
the
Stan.
answer.
I think
Actually, that question I think was from Stan.
Marvel.
That was from Stan himself. He wanted to know if he should continue to do his cameo.
Yeah, man, I love seeing Stan.
Okay, Stan, so that's the vote of confidence that you were looking for from Victor Lucas. One last question. Brenda Morton.
Yep.
And hey, do you think we will get to see more Indiana Jones now that Disney has purchased Lucasfilm?
Oh, these are the questions that I love that put you to sleep.
No. This one I'm okay with. Indiana Jones I can get behind.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the Cape Sniffer
Disney
stuff.
Disney doesn't give a shit about Indiana Jones. I'm sorry to say that, and it breaks my heart.
Why? Why don't they?
Because it's not the cash cow that Star Wars is. It's not a licensing juggernaut. It's
Why
not
does
even
everything
just about
have to make $1 billion?
It's not even just about the movies. Disney is about the franchise and the toys and the appealing to kids at every level. I mean, there are Cars diapers out there in the world. Like
There are Cars diapers, really?
Yeah. I mean, there are.
That's awesome.
On my baby daughter, I think we're on Sesame Street diaper. They also own Sesame Street, but I have got Winnie the Pooh diapers on her every once in a while, and it's that's the thought process at Disney. And I'm sure there are Jedi Knight diapers if coming or if they're not already in the works. You know what I'm saying? And Indiana Jones,
really the end of days.
Indiana Jones just does not transfer across all of those different things. There's a lot of licensing you can do about Indiana Jones, but not to the degree of Pixar creation or Star Wars animated. Like, I think it's tragic. It's sad. I think it's ridiculous that Tomb Raider and Uncharted can continue to become high value propositions on the back of the concept of something that Indiana Jones really commercialized to begin with.
But Indiana Jones is a smaller world too. It's not like Star Wars where you have a million different characters and different planets.
Exactly.
You have one guy basically, and he's too old to do anything anymore.
The toy line that doesn't sell like the Star Wars toy line does.
You're ready to hand the reins over to somebody new and let him try to be indie.
Well, and also the world of Indiana Jones is a finite one. Like he's a guy with limited technology visiting ancient worlds with some supernatural qualities. And I think that there's tons of opportunity and tons of ways to invent great fiction around this. I think that it would be amazing to see an animated show. I think it'd be amazing to have a young Indiana Jones retooled TV series with better tech and stronger actors. And imagine today's television showrunners and today's television production capabilities with the Indiana Jones brand. I think that would be incredible. But I don't think it's a priority for Disney. It wasn't even a priority for Lucasfilm. They squandered it. They made terrible. That Stafford Kings game I'll never forget. I do think that there should be new video game properties built around Indiana Jones. I think that's a no-brainer. I think that even makes more sense sometimes than more Star Wars video games. But do I think Disney's going to do that? I think what we might see is Indiana Jones might pop up in Disney Infinity.
Jesus.
That might happen.
It really is the end of days. First Planes diapers, Cars diapers, and now Disney Infinity has Indiana Jones in it. Listen.
Yeah.
This was fun talking with you.
I know. It was good.
It was good.
We had superheroes and Indiana Jones. I wish I had better news, man. I really do. I know Harrison Ford wants to make another one. I mean, that's something they can make money off of.
I have to offset all of this comic book talk, though, by saying that the NFL season is starting soon.
Yeah.
Get excited, people.
Get hot, everybody. NFL.
Get hot.
Sports.
Yeah.
Go team!
Well, you're going to have to put up with some of my sports talk this year.
No, that's okay. I like sports. I don't have the time that I used to have. I used to watch college basketball and NBA every week and started getting into hockey.
Well, listen, it's a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
What are you doing this weekend? You going to do a little barbecue? Can I come over?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's do some barbecue. I'd love to do that.
Okay.
It's been incredible this summer.
Got myself invited over.
Yeah, come on over.
Yeah, it has been an incredible summer, except at the box office, traveling Wilbury everywhere, all over the place.
Yeah, you know what? It's the TV seasons have been pretty damn fun. We
got the new Breaking Bad coming up on Sunday.
But you're kind of right. The movies have let us down a little bit, and we've been a little bit thin on the game stuff. And I think that's
Pikmin
why
3 tonight?
We're responding. Pikmin 3 is pretty fun.
You want to get
actually.
online tonight?
Yeah, Pikmin 3 is pretty fun.
Team up.
Absolutely.
All right.
No multiplayer apparently in Batman Arkham Origins on the Wii U.
Okay.
Which is shocking.
What do we need multiplayer for in Batman
Well,
anyway?
they're putting it in. Now you're going to be able to play in teams and
good.
And go and fight with as Batman and Robin and stuff.
Sounds like it'll be fun for the world for about 2.5 weeks.
Come on, you cynical bastard! I can't wait to see how that
I
turns
just feel
out.
terrible for the people who work on that, and then 2.5 weeks, no one's there anymore.
Oh,
Like those people spend years working on that.
that's Splash Damage that's putting all that together.
All right.
All right. Anyways,
Stitcher.
you can also find us on iTunes. You can listen on the
Yeah.
podcast. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you tell 2 friends, and they'll tell 2 friends, and then they'll tell 2 friends.
And hey, get out
Go.
there and make today great.
I love that. That's nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like a bumper sticker. Thanks for listening.
Goodbye, everybody.